Good morning. Oh, today Doc has been treating me to some shows that he saves, and one of them was the George Carlin appreciation show at the Kennedy Center, where George Carlin's work was honored, and a lot of comedians got up and talked about the great George Carlin, and it shows a lot of clips from his career. And I went home and I started thinking, and I thought, why can't us old lower class comics get anywhere like that? So we'll be honored and respected and a big success. And I thought and thought about it, and I thought, well, there's a lot of reasons. For one thing, I'm from Utah. I was born a Mormon. I had no choice. I was baptized totally against my will, but at 8 years old. I was trying to tell my mother, I don't have the faith. I don't believe that really happened. And my mother, she could see the rebellion headed her way and said, your uncle is coming all the way from Salt Lake to baptize you, who's been on a mission. And I thought, well, I guess I'm going to have to, for his sake, I'm going to have to be baptized. And so, and I'm glad I was, because he didn't even come back from the war. I mean, this brother was, his luck was not good. But I thought, why can't I make jokes like these Jewish guys do? If you watch Jon Stewart, which he saves for me, I watch every Jon Stewart.
Yes, but I have some bad news for you.
What?
George Carlin was Catholic. He was not Jewish.
He wasn't Jewish?
Nope.
My mistake.
Which makes him sort of a unique individual in the
I thought every
comedy
successful
career.
comic was Jewish.
Well, just 99%, that's all.
And well, all the Jewish guys were celebrating him. You know, they're nice guys. I mean, they will celebrate you, but what happens is they keep, you know, when they get a Holocaust, it just makes those Jews pretty mad, and they don't want to help people like he and me.
Wait a minute.
He used to.
I never asked for any help.
Oh no, well he knew he
Anybody?
couldn't get any because he was a Lutheran, Jewish, a German guy. And you know, he has to make jokes about the Nazis and how he, no, I'm not a Nazi, but you know. And you know, that's just not, it's just not nearly as successful. And then too, the German
let's face it.
Lutherans.
Adolf Hitler did not have the greatest sense of humor in the world.
No, he had none at all. Chop off their
Well,
heads.
it's like, what was it, Dennis?
Burn them.
Larry, he was raised in Tucson. Or was it Chandler? Which one was it? He said, Tucson is not a funny place. There are not a lot of people in Tucson that have a good sense of humor.
Oh, really?
Guess why?
Why?
Well, what's the majority of population in the state of Arizona?
Oh, Mexican did get our jokes, right?
No, it starts with an M, but it's not Mexican.
What is that? Come on, quit throwing out these little.
What's the other word that starts with an M?
Mormon.
Ta-da!
Oh, a sense of humor.
You
Yeah.
said it, I didn't say
Yeah, I'm a very serious people, and you know, I was raised in Utah, and my dad was a drinker, so us white girls would try to make jokes about drinking, about everything. I remember one of the best jokes I ever made, I thought, was my sister and I came home from school, and our dad was passed out right by the side of the road leading to our house, and his head was downhill. And I told my sister, oh look, Daddy's in the gutter at last. I thought that was so funny. And I wanted to go tell it in school, but I thought I better not. Daddy's hit the gutter at last. So, I did have an unusual sense of humor for my age, but I think that when you're tried, when you have trials, it drives you to humor. You have to laugh in order to keep from getting too upset. So, and then I know when we watch our shows, we watch Jon Stewart regularly, and he makes fun of all the religions. He and his crew, he just has a wonderful time making fun of all Mormon beliefs. You try doing that in Mormon, Utah, making fun of their religion when you're one of them, or supposed to be. Ooh, you'll get just about, you won't even get a smile. You won't even get you will just get
Circumcised?
so often that you begin to feel like you might be safer in some other state. Oh, you might be safer. And another thing is, comics have to be able to use the truth. The truth is what makes a comic funny, as far as I'm concerned. They expose the truths. And people have to be very, appreciative of the truth in order to find them funny. Well, oddly enough, religious people are not amused by the so-called truth. The truth might be, when I was young, I would say, I was a farm girl. I saw the animals copulate. I saw, all kinds of animals being born. And my mother had a bunch of kids real fast. And so when I heard the story that God was supposed to have come down and somehow or another got to Mary and they had God's son, I said, oh, I couldn't believe that anybody believed that. I said, wow. That can't be true. That just can't be true. Oh yes, it happened 2,000 years ago. 2,000 years ago, and I knew how everybody tells stories there. By the time you heard the story through a number of mouths, it wouldn't even bear resemblance to the story that started. And people are believing a story that has gone around for 2,000 years, and they're going to believe a story like that. Well, yes, it happened.
See,
it happened.
What your problem is that
I'm going like, Now,
when you're dealing with someone who says, "Don't confuse me with the facts. My brain is made up."
Well, yeah, running into that, and I'd say, "Hey, you can't get anywhere denying the facts. You have to deal with the facts.
Well, the fact
you can't just
you weren't there.
Make up stuff to suit yourselves." The Mormons have had a terrible time selling that story about he went out in the woods, he found some gold plates, only he saw them. Or maybe another helper too that swore that they saw. And he brought these gold plates home, and somewhere or another he interpreted the hieroglyphics on them. Just through what they call the Urim and the Thummim. And when I heard that story too, I was going like, that is the story. And Joseph Smith went out in the woods, he saw the angel Moroni, which you will see on the Mormon temple. He saw Jesus, God, I don't know. He saw Old Testament prophets. He saw unbelievable amount of people out there in that woods that, most people don't even get close to. Not even one of them in a lifetime. And he saw a whole bunch and then come back and told people that he'd seen them and got a little group to, well, I'm sure they didn't believe him. How could they? Even his wife, well, when he started believing me, she said, "That's it. I don't believe this came from on high." And she wouldn't have anything to do with it. And I thought, well, smart woman, she finally wised up. She finally said this old prophet has gone too far when he introduced polygamy. And they said Mary she even took after one of his wives that he'd married with a broom. And I thought, oh, at last we got some sanity in this family. His wife does not believe him anymore. Oh my gosh, and when I was little, I had to deal with very, issues like my dad's drunkenness. He was about to die. He almost died. 5 or 6, 3 of his brothers died before they were 50. One 22. I had to deal with my cousin's death from alcohol. I just, it was just reeling from one shock to another. Well, I had to learn if I was going to survive to joke, to laugh, to find whatever there was to smile about, and so you could brace yourselves for the next. Just like Irish comics. There's a lot of drinking in Ireland, so they joke about drinking. And there was a lot of drinking among these cowboys. That my father was one of them. Why, you joke about drinking. And he's not feeling too jokesy this morning, I notice. I think, hey, hold that up here. This is the first time you've ever seen on camera. I think this is water. Now, he's got to be really, really hungover, feeling terrible to be drinking this stuff. This is not anything that he will ever drink if it's possible to find, right?
Well, honestly, like W.C. Fields said, water won't drink that. Fish function in it.
What?
Well, they do. Fish function in water, which is the takeoff that fish do a lot of other things in the water too.
You mean has dysfunctioned? And look at him, he's not feeling too pert. You can see, he's just about frozen. He's just can't even hardly move. Well, it takes a lot to make a believer out of him. And anything that will cause him to drink water, it's got to be severe.
I think it was that food I had. I'm not
Oh yeah, he had a couple of bites of food yesterday.
Oh, no, I didn't. I had a big plate full of it.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't think that was a very big plate. I split the Thanksgiving dinner I brought home to him half that my daughter sent to him in half, and I ate half of it with gusto, and he ate his complaining. I fear that he drank too much the night before. Well, I'm just trying to say why, and you just got through telling me George Garland was not Jewish. I thought all successful comics, I thought everybody successful was Jewish. Because they're a very success-oriented people who know smart, don't let, stuff like that sidetrack them, and they get there. They get to the pinnacle of success. Look at Jon Stewart, the most popular comedian in the world, no doubt. And
well, if you ask him that, he might tell you that.
Well, anybody can see that. I mean, who's going to miss smart, good-looking, and Colbert is even Jewish, he told me. So
I didn't tell you that.
Well, isn't he?
I don't know.
You told me that.
So I lied.
Well, maybe he is, and I don't know. But first of all, I assume that they're Jewish if they are successful.
The way I look at it,
because they help each other get successful.
You have pretty much managed to offend everybody.
But when I offend people, like Jewish comics regularly offend everyone,
will probably call you.
They sort of kind of invite me to leave the state, and they don't mention my name again. So I fall into obscurity very fast. That's why I'm a lower class comic who has never made it to the top. And he's a lower class comic. Because
No,
he's a Lutheran
I'm
comic.
just a lower class person. Let me
Well,
tell
he's
you,
always joking.
when somebody is asking you to leave the state and you've got tar and feathers on you, they're not asking you. They're writing you
Well,
out
that
on
was the
rail,
Mormon
baby.
way. If you criticized their, in the old days, right from the start, if you criticized their religion, there were some pretty mean Mormons that come along with, I think you better move on. It was called, the vengeance. Well, it was, what was it called? The Sons of Dan would come. And I sort of felt like I was getting that invitation. I mean, people weren't even speaking to me. They would tell new people that moved into town, don't talk to her. Stuff like that. And they were not going to take my refusal to have my sons baptized since I'd left the church. They said, you are ruining those boys' lives. And this is what I heard all the time when I was up there, and I thought, I've got to leave the state so I can keep my boys from being baptized like I was. Against my will, don't even know what they're doing. And I told them, I said, I am not ruining their lives or keeping them from being Mormons. As soon as they get old enough, know what they're doing, they want to be Mormon, fine.
Well, I didn't have any choice.
Well, you were you were baptized at birth, right?
Well,
Baptized.
yeah, 2 days old. You don't have a hell of a choice. That's like a circumcision. I said, God, didn't that hurt when you were circumcised? He says, I was only a couple days old. I don't remember.
Don't remember. Oh, you screamed all right, but I'm sure, like they all do. But yes, if he was 2 days old, as smart as he is, he could probably not have, what are you doing to me, Dad? Brownie, because he's been a skeptic, I'm sure. He was a skeptic from his minute he could open his mouth, and so was I, and we were just natural born skeptics.
Okay.
Why? Because we didn't believe those fairy stories or those something or other. We were like, hey, I was the kind of kid that would say, I don't believe that story. I don't think that's what happened. So, I mean, I was run out of Sunday school. I couldn't even teach Sunday school. I was banned when I was only a teen. So you can imagine how it came the time when I thought, well, it's just best. And so instead of embracing me as one of their brilliant comic talents, they move on out, sister, you've made fun. Who wouldn't make fun of a story like that? Every comic that's ever heard the Mormon story of how Mormonism is unique, what Joseph Smith brought, they make jokes about it. It's just a natural fodder for joking. It's just too incredible for anyone to believe, but Mormons who are raised up by their parents telling, this is it, you're going to church and you're not going to hear anything else. That's going to be reality to them. They are never going to question. I've had these young earnest Mormon missionaries. I know how they were raised. They were not raised to have another conflicting opinion. And they weren't paying attention to anything in school that would interfere with their belief. My sister got fired in Utah for teaching mythology. She thought that would be safe. She thought everybody knew what mythology was. Mormons were suspicious. She's teaching our kids a new religion.
How long is this going to go on?
Well, I don't know. Poor thing. Do you want to go to bed? But after watching all these comics, I wanted to get up here and say, lower class comics, they need a break too. They need somebody to laugh at them, somebody to give them a chance, somebody to tell them, if you're brilliant, you'll get your reward. Not in Utah though, you won't get it in Utah. And the Jews are mad at everybody still over the Holocaust, which I don't blame them. And it'd probably take them 100 years to get over such a terrible happening. So they're not going to help me But anyway, I'll just have to help myself to become as well known as I can be, and a few people.
Oh, I think you're getting infamous right now. You passed the famous stage, now you're the infamous
I'm
stage.
infamous. Yeah, you pass into infamous. I'm an infamous Utah exile comic. Yes. So I gotta go to farmer's market now. I'm glad I got to spend this time with you. And I had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I hope you did too. As a proof, I'm still laughing. But this old fellow, poor thing.